999. There's been a robbery. Call 999. There's been a robbery. Jordan Marr flashes leather. Jordan Marr flashes leather. The official falling over, it just never gets old. Call 999, there's been a robbery.
Three, two, one, chuck your duck.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the PhanTV Preview Show. I'm Dan, and you may notice that to the side here, I have a special guest presenter from Milton Keynes. We won't hold that against her. If you've been following social media at all recently, you may have come across the account It's Icebruv. She's been to Scotland to do refereeing courses. She's trained now with about 8 teams. NHL Europe Ambassador. C, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, normally I'd not really want to go for jerseys, but obviously you're wearing your Lightning jersey. I couldn't really.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have to rep MK. Of course I have to.
Well, it's what you're here for. Okay, so coming up on today's show, we have we'll be talking about Janne Laakkonen and Cam Huff as they look to set new records for assists and goals. So if you've got any questions, what numbers do you think they're going to finish on? Obviously, Luke Ferrara up with 112 points now. We're going to have a quick look at last night's game against the Swindon Wildcats down in Swindon. We're also going to talk about Lightning's recent run of form, changing coach for them. 7-game unbeaten run, unfortunately came to an end last night. And the final playoff spot has been clinched. Romford Raiders beating Leeds Knights 8-3 to secure their final place. And Steel Dogs, despite winning the cup in overtime on Wednesday, a bit of a skid in form for them. So what is that? What effect is that going to have on the table and qualification groups later on? But before all that, we're going to have a quick run through league news and discipline. So probably the big news this week has been Sheffield Steel Dogs were crowned the National Division Cup champions, taking the game 7-6 in overtime on Wednesday. A little bit difficult to follow the scores if you were looking at the National Division site. And Sheffield went into this with a 3-1 lead after the first leg in Leeds. And then I'm just trying to keep this all straight in my head. So Sheffield took a 3-1 lead in Leeds. Don't say that after a few beers. And then Leeds finished 60 minutes with a 2-goal lead themselves, forcing overtime, which Sheffield then won with 11 seconds remaining. Bergendanov netting the game-winning goal in overtime. It's actually a third trophy win for Slava Kulikov over Leeds as well, so a bit of a habit there, I think. In terms of injury updates, Rhodes Mitchell-King has been announced as he is now out for the remainder of the season, having undergone surgery earlier this week for a lower body injury. No other details, no timeline for recovery yet, but obviously we wish Rhodes well and he recovers. So in terms of midweek games, Friday, just gone, Sheffield went down 3-1 in Sheffield to the Hull Seahawks, which propelled them into second place in the league. And other results last night, Knights 3, Raiders 8, Pitbull 6-5 over the Tigers in overtime, Lightning 4, Bison 5 in overtime, and Sharks 4, Steel Dogs 5 in overtime. That result putting the Sharks out of the playoff hunt. Interesting though, 3 games that ended in overtime, which I think is the most we've had this season. So, at the current standings, the playoff groups, we're looking at Group A for Swindon, Leeds, Peterborough, Romford, and Group B, Hull, Sheffield, Milton Keynes, and Telford. I don't know if you've had a look at those, Sim. I mean, obviously, Lightning now are in Group B with Hull, Sheffield, and Telford. Is that a tougher group, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, Hull's been playing really well this season, but I don't know. I think the other group's still personally tougher. For me, I'm like, when you was reading that out, I was like, I'm quite happy with Group B.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, Sheffield, they're a little bit iffy. I think Hull, with their new netminder, he's been absolutely lights out. He's top of the league for both goals against and save percentage. He's been a brilliant find for them. I'm looking at this, Swindon. Have they peaked too soon? I think is the question there.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, with the playoffs, you literally nothing matters up until the playoffs. Nothing pre matters. I mean, yeah, obviously certain teams are playing on form and stuff like that, and certain teams are playing better and all of that. But realistically, you can't predict the playoffs. You literally you can't do it.
Yeah, it is a complete reset. Just looking at the groups with the 3 remaining games, Milton Keynes do need to win tonight, but if they do, they need to win one other game. That would put them up to 5th. Phantoms need to take at least 3 points from the next 3 games to secure 5th. So there's still some movement there, I think, around 5th and 6th. And potentially, I think if Hull take 1 or 2 wins out of their final 3 games, they will secure 3rd place as well. But even Leeds, I think Leeds can bump them up to second. That second, third, fourth run that's still all up in the air.
So,
So,
how will the table shift today then? Say if the respective teams win. So, if Milton Keynes win, what will the table look like? And if the Phantoms win, what will the
Milton
table look
Keynes,
like?
I don't know if you've got a copy of the table at hand. If Milton Keynes win tonight, they'll still stay in sixth, but it means they need one more
Fine.
point
Okay.
to take fifth. Whereas the
Yeah.
Phantoms will need to take 2 points. So the head-to-head is currently Milton Keynes' favour.
Yeah.
I think it's currently 4-1 head-to-head games.
Yeah.
If Phantoms can beat Leeds, they've got the possibility of going up to fourth. The difference between fourth and fifth for the playoff groups is negligible. Really, Sheffield need Hull to lose 2 of their games in order to retake second place. So I think Hull have got probably one of the easier runs in for their last 3 games. Their last 3 games are Bristol, us next weekend, and Solway. So they've probably only got 1 hard game
Okay.
next week.
Yeah. Which will be you guys.
Yeah, we've got 3 hard games with teams that are fighting for position still. Milton Keynes tonight, Hull next week, and then Leeds on the Sunday. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last up, you've got Leeds, who have got Telford, Bristol, and us. So yeah, it's going to be a dogfight right to the very end.
So I mean, the groups might change then, even still.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might know by this time next week, or we might not. All fun and games.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, your next round of games isn't going to be fun.
Yeah. Let's switch over to discipline. We've got a few things to talk about from last week as well. So, game preview panels for last week. Sunday, Carl Ferguson and Lee Bonner both received a point for their fight in the middle of the third period. Nothing went to Dops. And then last night, again, nice and easy, Titan Cathcart from Basingstoke Bison and Josh Kelly from the Lightning both picked up a point each for their fight last night as well. In terms of Dops, only 2 things went to Department of Player Safety last week, and that was David Thompson. He picked up a major for kneeing. It was a 5-minute major for interference. That was changed. However, in the review, he was clearly seen using his knee during the check of an opposing player. He led with his knee, making direct contact with the Solway player's knee, causing him to fall. The direct knee-to-knee contact was delivered with force, so no minor can be given. A major penalty for interference was insufficient. And a major penalty requires an automatic game misconduct, which is applied retrospectively. So he got a 1-game ban and 5 penalty points. That suspension was served last week, so he was back last night. And then Solway Sharks, just before that incident, Lewis Young received a 5-minute major for fighting as the aggressor. So the contact with the Tigers player and Jordan Marr wasn't enough for an interference minor. However, Lewis Young skated hard to reach the Tigers player and landed, who was unaware and defenceless, landed at least a couple of punches from behind until the officials broke it up. So he received a 1-game suspension, which was served on the Saturday. And the team received 5 penalty points, which I don't think puts them over the threshold for a coaching ban, which is good. Other news, last week, Lackinen hit 100 points into mainly on assists. Cam Huff has equalled the league scoring record of 61 points. And Perry Whitlock has been made permanent as the head coach for the Romford Ice Hockey Academy. and that will go forward for the 26-27 season as well. So that's it for news and updates from around the league. We should move on to a bit more fun. If any of you've got any questions or comments about the games from last week or the game today against Milton Keynes, drop a comment, and if they're family friendly, we'll read them out and we'll have a quick chat about those as well. So, no player interview last week, but we have some. But instead, we have C. So we're going to talk to you instead.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So let's start. So ice hockey. It's everyone has their own crazy origin story, and I think I've heard yours a couple of different ways now. But for the viewers, how did you discover ice hockey originally?
Okay, so I was, I guess, seeing a guy, and I went to go watch him ref, and I can't remember what type of game it was. I think it was I want to say it was like a women's game from what I remember. I went to go watch a few times, but this particular day, and I was sat there, and I was just like, oh, I quite like this. Like, when you kind of sit there and you're like, I'm actually really enjoying this, but I didn't really sort of get deep into hockey until about a year and a half later. And then I went to go watch a Lightning game, my first ever one. And I was just, at that point, it's just, the rest is history, really. And then it's just been, it's just taken over my life. It's seriously taken over my life in like the best way.
Yeah.
I think it's probably bordering on an addiction now, to be honest. But there's worse addictions to have, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things. You talk to any hockey fan, and it really is. It's a very similar story. It's like, yeah, I went to watch one game, and that was it. I was hooked. It's like crack cocaine in sport form. It's really crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Look at me. I was normal before I started watching hockey. So, since then, obviously, things have taken off for you in terms of hockey. You've trained with kind of 6 or 7 teams now, pretty much all over the country. I think. Where are you at the moment, and what are you up to tonight?
So I'm in Liverpool at the moment, but I've got to. So I drove down from Elgin last night, which is about 7 hours. And then I'm driving across to Sheffield later to go and train with a team, and then I'll finally be heading home.
Yeah. So, for those of you that have been following on Instagram, if you look up "It's Ice Bruv,"
it's C, bruv. It's C, bruv.
It's C. I thought it was "It's Ice Bruv." Yeah. It's C, bruv.
No, C, bruv. Yeah, because it's C, isn't it? And I'm from London, so that's where the bruv comes from.
There you go. I've been saying it wrong for ages. There you go.
It's C, bruv. Yeah.
I don't know why my brain misread that as "It's Ice."
It's fine. To be fair, I mean, "It's Ice" would make, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see. But no, it's C, bruv.
We'll stick with that one. Yeah, so if you've been following "It's C, bruv" on Instagram, now I'm going to give you the correct name. It's always useful. But yeah, if you've been following C on Instagram, you've been doing a 1,000-mile round trip from Milton Keynes, Elgin. In fact, it's going to be more than 1,000 miles now with the detour via Liverpool and then Sheffield and then down. Yeah. So you were in Elgin yesterday. Yes. Anyone that's followed the account will know why, but tell us, why were you in Elgin yesterday?
I was doing a referee course, which is very exciting. It was a long day, but very exciting.
Yeah. So what made you decide to put on the stripes?
I mean, I guess multiple reasons. I guess there's obviously a tie back to sort of how I started following hockey, but also I think it would just suit my personality. I mean, I run my own business anyway, so I'm very much, and I think anyone who sort of looks at my account knows that I'm also I have my own opinions, and I'm not afraid of sharing my opinions. And I just I also I just love the sport. So it was more ice time, and obviously if things go well, if I, take the officiating journey far, it means there's a potential I could travel.
Yeah.
So there's just all of these sort of things. It was just like, I remember it was, I think it's Alice Stanley, who I saw on ice at uh, a Swindon game, and I was like, oh my god, there's a woman reffing. And I think for me,
Yep.
I was already in the sort of headspace of thinking about reffing, and then when I saw her on the ice, I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go for it. And then
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot to learn though. There's a lot. It
Yeah.
was definitely some points yesterday. I was a bit like, whoa, this is a lot. But I think it's one of those things that you have to really start doing to start learning. I think you can sit down and learn all of the sort of
Yeah.
the theory and the hand signals and all of that. But much like anything, you learn it by doing it, especially something like reffing, because you have to. I like the fact that you have to. Your eyes have to be everywhere. I like that challenge. So I think for me,
Yep.
I think for me, that's sort of another one of the draws. It's just seeing the game differently. And I think it just really suits sort of my personality and sort of what I enjoy doing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I did the course a long time ago. I'm not going to go into how long ago because I'd actually give away how old I am. But one thing I found with it is that you really start looking at the game differently. Once you
Yeah.
know the rules, you know the hand signals, you kind of get a handle on what's happened. And sometimes once you see the arm go up, you can then look and see, you can almost calculate what has been called already before the
Yes.
signals have been made.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
I,
mean,
I found that probably the most eye opening.
yep. 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 I would agree. I think for me as well, like, I highly suspect now that when I go and watch games, I'm not going to be watching the game, which is slightly annoying, but
Yep.
I want to learn. So the thing is with me is I mean, I think again, it's sort of, I think, obvious across my account and stuff like that I don't do things in halves. It's just not my personality.
Yeah.
So it's for me now that I'm sort of down the path of, hopefully becoming a ref and hopefully eventually becoming a good ref. I am just going to be laser focused on what are the refs doing? What are they doing? What are they done there? Because it's sort of,
Yep.
that's, I guess, to me a bit more relevant now. But I found that watching the game with that kind of mindset actually means I'm taking in more because I'm trying to watch everything rather than just watch where the puck's
Yep.
going. Does that make sense?
Yep. It absolutely
Yeah.
does. And not just for the refereeing, but also if you start watching in the game broadcasts. So Peterborough, Milton Keynes, Sheffield's are pretty good. Swindon. You'll see how the commentators there are picking up on parts of the game as well,
Hmm.
doing their thing. Okay, so that was the refereeing. Moving on from
Yep.
there, you then have also picked up another little thing as a result of your account. An
Yeah.
ambassador for NHL Europe. How did that
Yeah. Cool.
conversation start?
So basically so my account, it was just there really for me to, because I have a business account, and I can't put my personal stuff on there, but self-expression for me is really important. But I can't be plastering sort of stuff about my personal life all over. I mean, I could on my business account, but I decided to keep it separate.
Yeah.
So I made the account, and I think I was like 165 followers. They were all people I also knew in real life, for the
Mm.
most part. So it was just there for me to sort of express myself, sort of document my ice hockey journey, and just have a bit of fun with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I also have a TikTok, and the TikTok, to be honest, I don't update as much as my Instagram. I just prefer Instagram as a platform. But anyway, so I
Yeah.
had, at the time, I think it was, I want to say 86 follow. It might be 68 or 86. And at that point I really wasn't checking my TikTok a lot, and then I went into it just as you do when you're sort of just scrolling and stuff. I went into it and I saw, I had an unread message notification. I just thought it was some randomer saying, I get messages come in where people just sometimes say random stuff. There's a lot of people who have reached out to me actually who sort of shared their journey, said that I've inspired them, asked me questions, which I really love, which I really, really love. Like, that's so nice to think that obviously there's inspiration being made there. But I clicked on a notification and I saw NHL Europe and I was like, huh? I was like, what? So then I opened the message and it was just basically saying, because they're trying to push the NHL a bit more over into the UK. So at the moment they're doing sort of primetime games on Saturdays and Sundays, which are also now being aired on ITV4. Select games are being aired on ITV4. But you can catch, there are quite a few games outside of the ones that have been selected by ITV4 to air, sort of on national TV. They are making a point of having primetime games on Saturday and Sunday. So they reached out to me because they wanted me specifically to talk about those games and sort of just put content out there for those games. So yeah, they sort of said, oh, we really like your account. We really like your energy. We think you'd be a great fit to be a European creator. And they were just like, look, just, it's not paid for or anything like that. But for me, I didn't care about that, to be honest. I mean, I was just like, okay, NHL have contacted me, like, I don't know if we can swear on here, but you know what I mean.
It's only the biggest league in the world.
Yeah. And I was just like, why, how, where, when, what? Because like I said, I only had 68 followers. So I was just like, and then since then I've been just putting content out, just letting people know when the sort of primetime games are airing. And from there, that's sort of, I guess, I mean, it makes sense ultimately where my account then just started growing. And then obviously documenting the ref stuff, and just there's been other stuff that's gone on as well in terms of sort of my experiences in the hockey world, and then people reaching out to me because of that, because like I said, I'm self-expression is important to me, and I think hockey has just, it's brought so much to my life. It's actually crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about sort of just how much it's changed my life. It's nice to have something that, because running a business is quite all consuming. So it's nice to actually have something where I can kind of just pour my time into that isn't so rigid, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So, any thoughts on what is next?
Oh,
What's
well, I mean, the
next in
ref
the
stuff.
industry?
Yeah, the ref stuff is definitely next. I'm nervous. I'm quite nervous, to be honest, about starting that stuff, because I don't like getting stuff wrong. I hate not being instantly good at something. It bothers me. So that's another reason why, because hockey is so humbling, because I mean, hockey has definitely taught me to be okay with falling over and just getting on with it, and all of that, like the resilience that comes with that. So yeah, hopefully sort of officially starting my ref journey and sort of getting on the ice and to start officiating games. And then I want to do next year, I'm planned to do it'll be a 2-month trip, 2-month road trip, visiting all the mainland rinks in the UK. So I plan to go around I've planned like a little route basically around the coast. Or sticking to the coast as much as I can. Hopefully getting into a league team. Fingers crossed. I want to get into a team where I can start actually playing like proper competitive hockey, I guess. A women's league team.
Cool.
Fingers crossed. And then there was something else that I wanted to do, but I can't remember. Off the top of my head what it is. And just keep getting better. I want to be like, I want to be really good at the sport. Like I'm very competitive, very competitive. But I think, what's been nice is that the competition with myself, I think, is where hockey's really sort of brought that out, because I just want to get better for me. Like, even if I don't go into a league team or anything like that, like, as long as
Yeah.
there's like been times where I've been on the ice and I've been practicing, and like, especially with my sort of backwards crossovers, and I'm like, oh my God, my body just did what I wanted it to. So it's that
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, it's,
It's one of those
I
little
just
win
love
moments.
it. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of those little
exactly.
win moments. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
one question did come in. Obviously, I know the answer to this one because I've watched the account. Your NHL team, who are they and why did you follow them?
Okay, so I support Seattle Kraken. I love the Kraken. Let's go Kraken. And obviously
Go
they're quite a
Bruins.
new team.
31
Huh?
other teams are available. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm a Bruins fan, but yeah.
So long story short, my best friend lives in Seattle.
Cool.
So last year I went to see her. Was it last year? Was it 2024? It must have been last year. Yeah, it would have been last year. Either way, I went to go see her, and it just so happened. So this was like very early on into my sort of hockey journey. So I looked up and I was like, I wonder if Kraken are playing. It turns out they were. So I went to
Yeah.
go watch my first. Well, it was they were my first NHL game I watched. I then went to go watch another one, literally 2 days afterwards, and drank a bit too much and was little bit ill, but. Um, I was hurt. I mean, the first game I watched, they played Oilers and they won. I think it was 5-1 or 6-1, which was like for my
Yeah.
first ever NHL game was electric. The second game they lost against Dallas Stars, but
Yeah, that's not the
um,
point.
yeah. So it was sort of the tie, obviously, of my best friend living there, and then the sort of them being the first NHL game I ever watched, but also, and someone else actually mentioned this to me when I was chatting to them, in that they said, "Oh, do you support them as because they're a new team and you're new to hockey?" And I was like, "Well, no, but actually, I kind of like that." And
Yeah.
I just think, I just like the ethos of Seattle Kraken. Obviously, the first female assistant coach and all of that.
Yes.
I really like the team. I think I really like the logo. Um, not the best in the NHL, but it's fine. We're still teething in, so it's fine.
It could be worse. You could be a Vancouver fan.
Yeah, the poor Canucks.
Yeah.
Poor Canucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for
Well,
those
we
of you
played
that
them
don't
last night, so
know, so for those of you that don't know, producer Matt, who does a lot of the background stuff for this show, is a very, very long-suffering Vancouver Canucks fan. So in the chat, just happily press F for sympathy on that one.
poor Canucks. I managed to catch the last period of the game, so I turned up here and I said to my
Mm.
friend, I was like, "Can we please put the game on so I can watch the last period?" But I suspected we were going to win the game. But yeah, I think it was 5-2, no 5-1 in the end. But I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think it was. It was. I knew we were gonna. It wasn't going to be. No offense, but it wasn't going to be an exciting game.
It wasn't going to be
Um,
close.
no, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was good. It was nice to catch a bit of sort of hockey as sort of part of my ritual, because
Yeah.
I'm normally up very late watching these games. So
Yeah. 5-2 in
yes,
Seattle
fine.
last night.
Yeah.
That was a good win. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Doing better than the Bruins at the moment. Who
Mm.
lost 4-2 to San Jose earlier in the week before beating Washington.
Where are Bruins in the? They were doing quite well at one point, weren't they, this season?
Yeah. They weren't doing badly, and then they started doing very badly. Then they started doing okay again.
Yeah,
And
that's
now
what I
they're
mean.
just
Yeah.
I just have to content myself with the fact that we're not as bad as the Leafs.
Yeah, well,
The Leafs will
yeah.
always
I
be
mean,
bad.
yeah.
There you go. Cool. Well, thank you very much for that. If you can hang on a bit though, we're going to go through the preview for tonight, which is, as the shirts may give away for those of you watching, Peterborough Phantoms versus Milton Keynes Lightning. 5th versus 6th in the league. If you already know a little bit about the teams, if you've got any score predictions, please drop those into the comments and we'll go through those a bit later on. I will be asking people for their predictions as well. So let's have a quick look at the last 5 games for the Phantoms and the Lightning. Lightning, 4 wins and an overtime loss. Phantoms, 3 losses, 2 wins. The last meeting between the two teams in Milton Keynes on the 28th of February was not one the Phantoms will particularly want to relive. That was an 8-3 loss to the Lightning in the Thunderdome. In terms of head-to-head, again, 8-4 Lightning, 5-4 Lightning, 5-3 Lightning, 8-6 Phantoms. That was last game of the year for both teams. And then 8-3 Lightning. So I think number 8 really seems to feature between the two teams. So maybe it'll be 8-all at the end of 60 minutes.
Yeah, could you imagine?
So likely starters tonight. Hayden Levine for the Phantoms, Jordan Headley for the Lightning. Jordan Headley is currently running a 90.06 save percentage, puts him 8th in the league. Levine, despite his goals against, is running 91.22, which puts him 3rd in the league at the moment. However, goals against average is slightly different. Jordan Headley, after shipping 8 goals last night, has dropped to a 3.49 goals against average per game. Hayden Levine is still running 3.98, which is 13th in the league for starting netminders. I think Headley has a couple of shutouts to his name. Levine does not. Out in front of them, though, in terms of skaters, top goal scorer and top point scorer for the Lightning is Dominic Gabai, 29 goals, 53 assists for 84 points. That puts him 10th in the league for scorers. Top goal scorer for the Phantoms, no surprise, it is still Cam Huff, 61 goals, tying the league record. However, given that the chances are special teams are going to be a thing tonight, it might be worth mentioning that Dominic Gabai is the joint top short-handed goal scorer in the league at the moment. I think he shares it with Kieran Brown. So, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about special teams in a moment, but Gabai is going to be worth keeping an eye on. So, yeah, in terms of point scorers for the Phantoms, 1st and 2nd in the league for points still Farrar and Lucknan, 112 and 102 points respectively. Yanni not getting any points last night on the Phantoms' only goal. That was Huff and Norton picking up a point each on the assists. So special teams, this is where it can make or break a game, and we found this to our cost a number of times. Phantoms power play, second best in the league currently, 32.35%, which is pretty good. It's roughly 1 in 3 power plays results in a goal. Milton Keynes Lightning, they're 3rd in the league, 28.24. So again, they're running very close to roughly 1 in 3 power plays becoming a goal. Penalty kill, Milton Keynes Lightning, 7th in the league, 75.13% on the penalty kill, which is absolutely respectable. And the least said about the Phantoms with their 67.08% penalty kill, it's improved from last week. I'm going to grasp at straws for that one, but we're still absolutely dead last. So officials tonight will be Will Hewitt and Sam Anderson, linesman Anthony Groom, and we're still waiting on the second linesman. So if you get your card done quickly, you might get called up for that one.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine? So looking at this, both teams are scoring a little over 4 goals a game, roughly. Lightning conceding 3 on average, scoring 4. Phantoms scoring 4, conceding 4 on average. Do you have any thoughts on potential scores tonight?
Oh, normally I would have said it's normally pretty close, but obviously the last score line and with the sort of the changing coach, I want to say 5-4 is screaming to me to MK. Um, so and I'd say I'm gonna go 5-4 in overtime.
5-4 overtime.
Mm.
Now, my heart says 6-3 Phantoms. My
Okay,
head says 8-4 Lightning.
8-4. Okay,
Yep.
fair.
So Lightning got some very good goal scorers. I think if
Yes.
the key for the Phantoms on this one, as it is with every game at the moment, with our penalty kill, stay out of the penalty box. Just don't do stupid things. If we
Hmm.
can't stay out of the penalty box, we are going to get hammered. I think that
Mm.
is. I mean, Lightning's power play is good, um, and we can't even relax while being on the power play. Not with Dominic Goodbye on the ice, unless he's the one in the box, then we might be okay.
Goodbye
Um,
has been such a great addition to the team. So good.
mm. Now he was player coach or player assistant coach with the Bees for their last season, and I believe he's player assistant coach for the Lightning as well.
I actually
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so from your perspective, obviously being a Lightning fan, you saw the playoff game with Tim Wallace running the team last year. You've seen the games this year with Tim Wallace running the team. How big a difference do you think Wallace leaving the Lightning now is going to make?
I think it's a bit of a, I guess it's a tough topic to talk about because obviously, I I've only been following Milton Keynes for a couple of seasons, and obviously I've seen Tim play, and obviously yes, he saw them through with the playoffs and stuff, um, and sort of MK started out quite strong in the season, and then it's just been pretty bad up until the sort of coach change. I mean, I think I know Christie obviously stepped in as well on the ice with the team, which probably helped him in terms of this season, sort of finding out where the holes are.
Mm,
And I think Tim has been, as far as I'm aware. Again, I've only been following for a couple of seasons, but as far as I'm aware, Tim's been quite a big part of the Milton Keynes sort of culture and stuff like that. So it was
yeah,
nice that he sort of he did coach the team and all of that. And obviously, we all wish him well in terms of his future endeavors and stuff like that. But I think we can't really ignore the sort of change in, and it's not because I've been so busy this month, I've not actually seen them play, but I was at the Phantoms game. Um,
yeah,
and it's just the play was really sloppy. Whether it was down to the coach, whether it's down to the players, whether it's down to a mix of stuff, but clearly something is working since.
yeah. I mean, 7 games. He's had 8. Lewis Christie's had 8 games in charge, and he's won 7 of them.
Hmm. Yeah,
Is
I mean, you
that?
can't really argue with that. You can't argue with it, can you?
I mean, you don't know whether that's going to just new coach bounce back or whether something is now clicking.
Yeah, I mean, we had a
Um,
lot of injuries as well at the start of the season. Rutkus
yeah,
was out for ages. Um, we had obviously Rio out for a while, but that was more recent. So we had quite a few, and we had people drop out. Obviously, what was his second name? What was his second name? It's just escaping me. We had, I can't remember, but we had obviously a few people drop out. We've had new players come in. So I think there's just been a lot of moving parts that haven't quite gelled
yeah,
properly. So whether it's down to the fact of us getting those injured players back, and then obviously it's just all kind of happened at the same time as the coach change, and it's all just kind of all
yeah,
fell back into place. There's a lot of variables that have changed. So you can't, I don't think you can also say definitively yes, it's down to the coach change. Obviously that's made a difference, um but there's a lot of other things that have been happening at the same time as the coach change, that would play a part in terms of Milton Keynes doing a lot better now.
yeah. To be honest, I mean, just looking at the numbers, you can't really argue with that. It is basically it is what it is. Um, so obviously tonight's game, Phantom's Lightning games are always absolutely full on. If anyone's watching the game and you can make it, um, these games normally sell out. So please go to www.gophantoms.co.uk into fixtures. You can buy your tickets there. If you can't, join the live stream. Alan and Phil will be presenting tonight. And you'll get to watch the action there as well. Yeah, I mean, the games have always been really full on between the two sides as well, I think, which
Yeah.
I think that's going to be something to look forward to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's hockey. Hockey's always great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's something about the MK Phantoms games, and especially because you've got quite a few of our old players from last season. So I find it very interesting watching the players, because obviously there's that rivalry, but you've got two players that obviously a lot of our lads
Yeah.
are friendly with. So it's really interesting just watching the dynamics on the ice, especially now that obviously as a ref,
Yes.
I'm like, well, not as a not yet, but sort of watching all
Give it
the
a
sort
moment.
of the micro interactions on the
Yeah.
ice. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the players that have played between the two sides, obviously for the Lightning, we've got Ed Nags, who's played a couple of seasons with Peterborough, Archie Salisbury, Peterborough Junior. He's been here and since he went over to the Lightning, he's blossomed incredibly.
Oh, I think he's
Uh,
great. I think he's great.
Yep. Jordan Cowney, he's played a few seasons with us back in the early days of his career, and then he's now really embedded himself solidly with the Lightning. Alternate captain, and Jarvis Hunt as well. He's definitely made himself at home. I think he is actually Milton Keynes based and was travelling over to us to play. So yeah.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. I guess more convenient for him. I actually saw him the other day when I went to the gym.
Oh, there you go. And then in terms of Phantoms that have played for the Lightning, Tom Norton did a season back in the early days with the Lightning before coming to us. Morgan Clark Pizzo, whose shirt I am wearing as well.
Way.
Yep. The only time I've ever won known and loan, and it was Morgan Clark Pizzo. Yeah, so Morgan Clark Pizzo, who else did we mention earlier? Dylan Lawrence, Corey McEwen, Zane McKenzie have all played for the Lightning. And while playing for the Haringey Greyhounds, Phantom's backup netminder Luke Clark has also backed up the Lightning. Played a couple of games for the Lightning in Peterborough. So there you go. So there's a lot of traffic between the two teams, and
Yeah.
that will always continue.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're close together, aren't they? So.
Yep. So we'll run through that. So in terms of injuries, I think we did mention in the news, might have mentioned Rhodes Mitchell-King, who is out after surgery. For the Phantoms, we know for certain that Brad Bowering is still out. He's had surgery on finger following a long-term injury. Other than that, it's kind of a lot more people out. I think for the Phantoms, it's been at the stage for a few games where it's been. Yeah, so Corey McEwen is out injured as well, as far as I know. That's to be concerned, and Nois Venskatonis.
Oh, you've got quite a few.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's something. If you ever watch the live stream,
Maybe it might be 8-4.
Yeah, we have a section where we show the number of players that are not icing, and
oh dear,
there have been a few games. Yeah, I know. There's been a few games this season where the players in the injured list have almost outnumbered the players actually on the ice. Yeah. So,
no.
but teams have that every year. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can go a whole season where you've only got one or two players out injured, and then we lost Tom Norton for a few months. We've lost Callum Douglas for the rest of the season. He's gone. We lost Scott Robson for a couple of months. Brad Barring's out probably for the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, it's been a running comment that Ashley Tate, in his first season with the Phantoms, has not been able to name a full strength roster for any game this year. In fact, not just this year,
considering
this
then you're
season.
doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, considering.
Yeah, it also probably doesn't help that we signed, I forget the guy's name now, 91, Nathan Salem. Yeah, we signed him at the
Ah.
beginning of the season, and he went out for surgery.
Oh.
And he's been out the entire year.
Who did he used to play for, Salem? I recognise that name.
Oh, Sheffield, Hull, Peterborough. I think he did a stint at the Tigers as well.
Oh, fine, okay.
Yeah, so
Salem. He played for
been-
you guys last year, right? Didn't he?
Yes.
Last season. Yeah, fine. That's why I
really
recognise
quite
him.
an effective play. Him and Duncan Spears. Although,
Yeah. I
there's a bit of
remember
blood.
thinking that Salem's pretty good.
Yeah, and then he went out.
When he's not
Was it
injured.
shoulder surgery? I think, but he's been out for most of the year. Yeah, Duncan Spears desperately tried to come back for the playoffs. Unfortunately, the broken leg he received in Peterborough from Ross Venus, who at the time was a Lightning player, probably didn't help. But yeah, but this is what we mean. Phantoms Lightning games are always full on.
Yes.
So, whatever happens tonight is going to be 100%.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be more. If you haven't got McEwen, because again, with Lawrence, you can tell very quickly that the players, when it comes to sort of ex-players that they've played with, are a lot more gentle and fair. But obviously, with one of those missing, it'll probably be a pretty scrappy game.
Except Salisbury and Gretton. Those two played together. They get on really well off the ice. Put them on the ice together, it's war. They look like they hate each other from the second the buzzer starts until the final buzzer goes.
Salisbury's he's such a gritty player, so I can't. We were speaking about this sort of. I think he's great. I really rate Salisbury, and I just think when he's on the ice, he's there to play. Like nothing else matters.
Yeah,
and I think that's why he's such a good player.
Yeah, he was like that at Peterborough as well.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, who would be the Lightning players you would have us look out for tonight?
Oh, goodbye, 100%, always.
Yep.
Salisbury, I just think he's a great defenseman. I just think he's so gritty. I've really been enjoying watching Forsberg lately, I have to say. He's been pretty, at least a lot more compared to last year, sort of a bit more physical. Taking shots a lot more often as well. So I really like sort of how his not standard of play, but sort of has changed. I've mainly named, apart from Goodbye, I'm thinking of all the other forwards. Things I play defence, so I tend to sort of watch the defencemen a bit more. Forwards wise, Goodbye. He's the only one that sort of comes to mind in terms of that I would say has been consistently performing across the season. I really like Heath as well. I think he's been quite a good addition. Howlett as well, but I think, Goodbye, Salisbury, just because I rate Salisbury so much anyway, regardless. And Forsberg, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Sean Norris has always been a player to watch. He first came to my attention a while ago. Funnily enough, played for Milton Keynes Thunder, Slough Jets. Then he went to the Bison in 21-22 season. A couple of stints with the Lightning, off to the Elite League with the Belfast Giants. He's played GB a number of times, played Guildford Flames in the Elite League, and then back to Milton Keynes for the last 3 years. I rate him quite highly. I mean, he's been picking up GB caps as well in the meantime.
Yeah.
Norris, he's one of those stealthy players. He's not top line, but he produces every game. And Malik Martelli for me as well. I know we spoke about him before the game. As a defenseman, he's easy to miss because defensemen, unless they do something spectacular, they just slip under the radar. Either spectacularly good or spectacularly bad. Martelli is fast. He's not a hitting player. He's a steal the puck off your stick when you're not looking player, and he is really good at that.
Yeah,
So
he's
For the Phantoms, it's the cut and paste line. And you just cut and paste their name into every goal. So Luke Ferrara, Cam Huff, Yanni Lakkonen. On the power play, watch for Dylan Lawrence, another former Lightning player. In terms of defence, Joe Gretton. He's been playing defence a lot recently, obviously with our numbers being down. And he's also been rather anonymous. He's not done anything stupid.
Yeah, that's a good thing as a defenseman.
Yeah, defenseman is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I think there you go. That's our view of... there we go. Apparently Phantoms only have 4 D-men going into today's game.
Oh, dear.
So, 8 might be optimistic.
Oh, so you've got 2 line changes. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, if we've got Zane McKenzie tonight, he may find himself playing back in D at this rate. He's played utility. Oh, Nick Martin, we might see him go back. I mean, if we can get Preston Toombs in as well.
That 8-4 is looking a bit more...
Yeah.
A bit more, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that said, Cam Huff, I can see him chipping in a goal or 2 tonight, and that would put him... that would give him the league goal scoring record.
Obviously, Milton Keynes are just coming off a loss as well, so that can always affect things.
Back to winning ways quickly, and what better way? Actually, from our perspective, I can think of
fingers crossed. Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, for us, that's that would be ideal. Yeah.
Okay, so that's our look at today's game. Again, if you want to watch the game, go to www.gophantoms.co.uk. You can buy your tickets for the game there. If you can't join us live at the rink itself, the live stream is the next best option. Tickets are available there at www.gophantoms.co.uk, and our match night presentation will be with Alan and Phil. So let's have a quick look at some of the offers and the shameless plugs that we will put forward for the Phantoms now this week. And they are absolutely shameless. Shot off the back tonight is Will Bray, last week's winning netminder. And also we will have a jersey up on Chuck a Duck as well. Square sellers, they'll be around. So today's jersey on the square seller is Flynn Massey. There are some colouring books on sale in the rink shop for players. This week is Connor Glossop of all the guys. All fun and games. Phantoms end of season awards tickets for that are available. It's Thursday 2nd of April, 7 p.m. onwards. That's taking place at the Holiday Inn Peterborough West. That's at Thorpewood. It is over 16s only. Tickets for that £25, including food and other activities. You can buy your tickets online or in the gift shop. Season tickets. The Phantom season tickets were announced last week. The prices are out now as well. They range from £468 for an adult up to £1,417 which is the most expensive. That's a family, 2 adults, 3 children. Payment options are available. You can spread those payments up through until next season. If you're an existing season ticket holder, don't forget, email in, let him know if you're keeping your seat or if you want to move a seat and if you're renewing. FanForce Supporters Club. See the table there, you can join. So that's £20 for adults, £10 for children. Right. Just having a quick look to see if we've got a list of the playoff own and loan shirts. So we did flash those up earlier. So Phantom's own and loan shirts for the playoffs have been released. We have the Fire Red and Ice Blue. And I don't know, if, Producer Matt, if you can get them back on screen, because I think they look really good. I am biased, I admit, but there we go. So you can see them on screen now. So the blue is fairly similar to the home playoff shirts, but the orange is kind of the Fire Red, Fire Orange. That works really well. Pleasantly surprised. So top line players, obviously, Huff, Ferrara, Lackinen, Norton, Levine, and Lawrence. Those shirts are 150. Everyone else are out for 100, and you can pick up your own loan shirts at the end of the playoff campaign, hopefully after Coventry. So that's about it for the stream this week. See, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's been really good to have you on.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah. So again, if unlike me, you can get C's Instagram title correct, it's Cbruv, not It's Icebruv. So
I should change it to that now, just to mess with you.
Maybe start a second one, just link that one across this one. But yeah, so it's Cbruv. Give her a follow on Instagram. It is actually really cool to watch.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
One last thing. If you bought a red own and loan shirt for this week, you can collect those after the game this evening. So make your way to the players' bench after the game. There you go. So I think the white own and loan shirts were handed over last week. The blue one, I think the red one's tonight, and the blue shirts next week. I have my email for those. So there you go. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Again, thank you very much to C. If you've enjoyed the show, please give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. You can catch up with the other FanTV output, which will include match night highlights, which might be more fun for Lightning fans tonight. Who knows? So match night highlights, post-game interviews, and of course, preview show. We'll be back next week for the Phantoms game against the Hull Seahawks. And so it's good afternoon from me. And C, any last words?
No, just thanks for having me on. I'm really honoured. And sadly I'll be driving to Sheffield, otherwise I would have watched the game. But hopefully it'll be a good game for everyone watching live and at home.
Cool. Thank you very much. Well, thanks everyone, and we'll see you at the game later.